The U.S. auto world loves a reboot, and when brands bring back a legend, it feels like history roaring onto the highway. But some icons never got that second chance. They disappeared from showrooms, but not from our hearts. So today, we're shining a spotlight on 5 forgotten American legends that deserve a comeback ASAP. Cars with style, muscle, and personality the modern market is begging for. Let's dive into the machines America needs to resurrect. Saturn Sky. Saturn shocked everyone with the Sky in 2006, finally adding the fun car enthusiasts wanted to its stables. Sure, the Kappa platform roadster shared bones and engine with the Pontiac Solstice, but it wore sharper lines. The 2.0-liter turbo LNF under the hood made 260 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, but its curb weight of just over 3,000 pounds, combined with a short wheelbase and a standard manual, made it eager and playful. The Redline models responded well to tunes and cooling upgrades, turning them into giant killers on tight tracks. For its successor, we imagine a 2.0-liter turbo making around 300 horsepower with a 6-speed manual, and another one that runs a single-motor EV with 300-plus miles and a curb weight that still starts with a 3. Aluminum subframes, a composite trunk lid, and a top that doesn't eat the cargo area are needed to keep the overall concept friendly. A real LSD, damping for imperfect pavement, and pricing that leaves budget for tires would make it the forum favorite all over again. Oldsmobile Toronado. In 1966, the Toronado brought American front-wheel drive to the big power party. Under that crisp body sat a 425cc V8 with around 385 horsepower and a chain-driven TH425 transaxle. The floor stayed flat, the packaging was clever, and the steering felt surprisingly precise for a big coupe. Later cars softened, but the original idea, innovative packaging and torque for days, was bold. It proved Detroit could rethink the layout and deliver something new. We hate to say it, but electrons seem to suit the original mission here. In our heads, long hood proportions meet dual-motor AWD with 500 to 600 horsepower, natural-feeling one-pedal, and honest aero for highway range. Also, how about a W34 pack with bigger brakes, added cooling, stickier rubber, and firmer damping for those looking for something hardcore? The cabin, meanwhile, needs to stay calm. Crisp HUD, a few tactile knobs, great seats, and road noise dialed down to a hush. Layout pioneer then, serenity at speed now. Pontiac Firebird. The Camaro's lawyerly sibling? Never. Firebird was the hothead. Ram Air packages, WS6 chassis bits, screaming chicken decals on hoods that actually moved air. Last-gen LS1 cars felt rowdy out of the box and turned wicked with a few bolt-ons. The stance, the dash, the shaker, wild but somehow cohesive. If you ask us, a naturally aspirated V8 with a manual would provide the heartbeat, while a Trans Am spec would widen the track, add functional aero, and bring in serious cooling. An Esprit-style EV trim could land quiet speed and long range without losing the silhouette, though that might be a bit too much for the purists. Inside, rally gauge nods meet cleaner ergonomics and better sight lines. A chassis that accepts a square setup and offers real camber adjustment makes it friendly to track rats and canyon regulars alike. DeLorean DMC-12. This iconic movie car tends to get a lot of hate in enthusiast circles, but under all that stainless steel was a fascinating idea. The DMC-12 used a rear-mounted Renault-sourced 2.85-liter V6, around 130 to 150 HP in period, a 5-speed manual or 3-speed auto, and a Lotus-tuned backbone chassis with composite underbody. Gull-wing doors and brushed steel made it a rolling spaceship. The car needed more power and less weight, but the bones were right. Mid-engine handling feel, an emphasis on materials, and an identity no other coupe could touch. A proper return would keep the doors, the steel look, and the engine behind the seats, but fix the performance. A compact plug-in layout cleans up the old sins without muting the grin. The gull-wing doors and brushed steel vibe probably need to stay, but paired with a 2-liter turbo driving the rear wheels and a strong front E-motor for instant shove. A curb weight under roughly 3,600 pounds, bonded aluminum and molded composites would keep responses crisp. Well, that might seem a bit too advanced for the DMC-12, but hey, that exterior still screams high-tech, right? Eagle Talon. The Eagle Talon was the poster child for turbo fixes everything. Turbo G463 AWD, viscous diffs, and a chassis that took power and track days like a champ, once cooling and bushings were handled. Rain, snow, dirt, it just hooked up and went. The tooling scene never died, but the cars did. Picture a rally road coupe with modern torque tricks, a hybridized 2.0-liter turbo, integrated starter generator up front, and an E-axle in back lands 350 to 380 horsepower and a sub 4.5-second 0 to 60 miles per hour with repeatability. A base turbo FWD could keep a manual for the purists, while the hybrid could lean on a dual clutch for crisp hits for those looking for better track times. Hatchback practicality, split-fold rears, and big-mouth cooling could make track nights and road trip weekends easy.